welcome. Thanks very much for tuning in. We are tracking minute-by-minute updates that are coming in this hour at 11:30 a.m. Any minute now, we'll be getting the update of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who will begin the meeting. He is chairing an important meeting on COVID-19 related situation. In a short while from now, we're expecting the live update soon. Niranjan.
Correct. From the information that we have from Piyush, our correspondent on the ground. In fact, we'll try and get Piyush live as well. This is a big update as Delhi, yesterday we had this big announcement, Dr. Bagai, of 30% positivity rate in Delhi, which is the highest across India. The Chief Minister himself spoke about it. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal yesterday announced that there were 25,000 cases that were recorded in a span of 24 hours, which is the highest for any single city across the country since the outbreak of the pandemic. So it's a very serious situation, and he also spoke about the need for urgent measures to be taken, and we're expecting some announcement to be made at some point today. At 12 p.m. the Delhi Chief Minister is holding a news conference. The Prime Minister is taking stock as we speak. That meeting has begun, is what we're getting to understand. And 1 week curfew in Delhi, is that the only option? Medically, experts are divided. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai was explaining why he felt that a complete lockdown may not be the answer. But Dr. Bagai, on this particular subject, across Delhi, in fact, traders' unions also feel that a lockdown is the only way out. Medically, why do you believe that it's not the answer? Dr. Bagai.
Yeah, I think, like I mentioned earlier, it's more a question of self-discipline, enforcing masks, only going out when it's absolutely essential, rather than having a blanket lockdown. This is my personal view. The important thing is that we need to keep the full COVID appropriate behavior. Now, if a particular society at large is not being able to do it, then we are wrapped on our knuckles with this lockdown. But having said that, the more important thing is to control the situation on the grounds. The patients are really stressed. And I had mentioned in a couple of shows yesterday, including your show, that what we really need to do is we need to have two separate verticals. One is a hospital management, which is tertiary care, quaternary care, and second is a home management in which we can quickly area-wise triage patients so that we decompress and not overload the hospital with patients who are either asymptomatic or with very mild disease. At the present moment, what is really happening is that the people are running helter-skelter, seeking medical attention, and a lot of them actually may not require active and admission treatment medicine. So I think if we can draw out the verticals so that a lot of patients can be smartly managed at home through technology and through home visits, that would really help.
Yeah. Okay, yesterday we had those, we put out some of those numbers, and we'll put that out, not what is positivity rate, but the 30% positivity rate, and explaining India's positivity rate and why it's a concern in the national capital. I want Dr. Alexander, who's also joining us on this broadcast. Amita, Dr. Alexander, we're getting in breaking news now that, Amita, that, that Delhi could go under complete curfew in the next few hours, right. That is starting tonight. So let's get in Dr. Alexander Thomas as well, and what he feels about this move taken, possibly taken, because it's not official yet. We're attributing it to sources. This is what our reporters are hearing, and these are reports coming out from across all quarters in Delhi. Is that the only option, Dr. Alexander?
Yeah, thank you for having me again. And as I said, I represent the Association of Healthcare Providers. No, there are always pros and cons, and the lockdown, a complete lockdown, is an extreme step, because we have to remember that especially the poor will be really affected by this. They lose their livelihoods, and some of them would also die from other causes. So I think I go back to what I said yesterday, and we have been saying from HPI, even though the situation is of concern, we need to focus on three very, very important things. One is the vaccine. I think the government has now realized, and we should ensure that all our adult population gets the vaccine. We have to absolutely ensure that masks are worn properly above the nose and below the chin, and we have to ensure social distancing. I think these three things, it's not too late to enforce now. But having said that, I think rather than enforcing, it is the duty of every citizen in our country to be responsible and to have responsible behavior. And also our political leaders, they should, not only political, all our leaders political, religious, industry leaders, they should lead by example. They should practice masking, they should practice social distancing, and I think a huge effort should go into ensuring that the population is vaccinated. We've just heard from Israel, much smaller country, I agree. They vaccinated most of the adult population. They ensured both by messaging and by strict measures that masks are worn, and today they have said that masks could be removed. So I think the situation is alarming, but let's all get started now. I think it's very important that every citizen gets this message, all the leaders get this message.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, Amita, yeah, you had a question.
Yeah, because Dr. Bagai, if I can come back to you on the same, because we are talking about several measures, and especially in the national capital, it was in a way that we were seeing that Mumbai and Delhi in a way was competing when it comes to the highest number of cases that were being reported in a single day. But the positivity rate has gone up, the casualty rate that has gone up, the recovery rate that has gone down, and this is happening drastically. We are not looking at those measures that are being taken up that would be reported earlier. If we talk about 2020, that would take several weeks. We are talking about days. In hours, we are getting such alarming figures, sir.
Absolutely. Like I said, this is a completely a community spread, and most probably it would be a lot of it will be the mutant strains. I've said this for the last month and a half or 2 months, that we need to do a very active genomic sequence, zero surveillance, because without actually knowing which strain we are dealing with, we may be shooting arrows not absolutely accurately. So that is one. But the second thing is we need to ramp up the testing. I think the testing has faulted us in Delhi. We are now getting appointments for the patients well into 3rd day or 4th day from today, and the reports then 48 to 72 hours later. So the time gap cycle of 5 to 7 days can be hurting patients, especially if they are critical. But like I mentioned, there are two important things. One is a very smart, very aggressive supply chain management of each and every consumable, disposable drugs and oxygen in all healthcare centers. And second thing is, I've already requested the AAP government yesterday to start the concept of home triage. Let us decongest the healthcare facilities and hospitals. A lot of patients, almost 80-90% of asymptomatic patients or mild symptom patients can be managed extremely well at home. All they need is reassurance, a quick check at home, a pulse oximeter, and more importantly, to get a test report in time. So if we do that, we will stop the overcrowding. And my request through your channel to all the viewers is, please do not stock and hoard medicines. It is not required. Drugs like Redamzivir and Telesimide and others are not to be taken at home. It's only under medical supervision in a hospital setting. So we may actually then otherwise create an artificial scarcity of these very essential and life-saving drugs.
Yeah, Dr. Bagai, now nationally we've been talking about it. Now, like in the first wave, Dr. Thomas, it is time for a national strategy. And even though some states are seeing much more, like a bigger resurgence and a bigger caseload, I think it's also time for a national strategy, and the Prime Minister is meeting as we speak. Home Secretary is speaking to every state. So there is a fight wave, though we are seeing, according to the numbers pouring in, that there may be a higher positivity rate, which translates to the, you know, if 10 people are being tested, 3 are testing positive in Delhi and also in Chhattisgarh, which is an alarming scenario. But at the same time, the fatality rate is much lesser compared to the first wave. Why don't you explain this to our viewers, Dr. Thomas?
I must confess, I'm not an expert in COVID. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, and I'm speaking on my position from the Association of Healthcare Providers. I think my colleague expert has said quite a few things, and I would just reiterate what he said. I won't go into details of why the fatality rate is less compared to the first wave, because I'm not knowledgeable about that. But I would again reiterate that hospitals are stretched. Hospitals are stretched like never before. I've never seen this situation in my lifetime. And one of the ways to sort out this, of course, one is the prevention. The other is, as my colleague just said, we have to also spread the message that people with mild symptoms need to stay at home, need to do home quarantine, and we need to use technology and other measures. So they are taken care of, they are reassured, and the healthcare system is not stretched, because if this continues, we certainly do not want the healthcare systems to collapse in any of the states.
One of the
Right,
emergency
sir.
measures
I
taken.
believe, Niranjan, we also have Dr.
Yeah.
Naresh Chawla, who's joining us here on the broadcast from the Delhi Medical Council. Sir, good afternoon to you. Looking at the Delhi situation, of course, you will be very well aware of it, how grim it is becoming every single day, owing to the positivity rate that is almost skyrocketing. We are expecting that the Delhi Chief Minister, after holding a meeting with the Lieutenant Governor, could likely announce a complete curfew in the national capital. We have just come out of a weekend curfew, sir, Saturday and Sunday that it was imposed.
You see,
Right, Dr. Chawla, what are your points of view?
Is a absolutely extremely unfortunate situation, and you see now it is very little point telling who is wrong and who is wrong, but it is absolutely, we have to fight the situation in a warlike fashion.
All right, I believe Dr. Chawla's connection, we've just lost. We'll just reconnect that line again. But Dr. Bagai, if I can come back to you on that, if you can also explain to us why are we looking at such high positivity rates and percentages that has gone up significantly. But is the curfew a new term that is now being used for lockdown? Of course, you had mentioned that lockdown will be an extreme case that needs to be put in place. But do you believe curfew is the new term that is now being used?
Yeah, so three parts to your question. One is why are we seeing spiraling numbers, but still the case fatality rate much lower than the previous time? That's one is because a population at large is getting more and more immune to this virus. A lot of patients have actually contacted it. A lot of patients who were asymptomatic in the first wave or indeed now in the second wave, who never really got it tested because it was just a small sniffle or a body ache and no one tested it. They've also developed some sort of immunity to it. And third is the vaccination drive. So one is building up community immunity, and the second is the vaccination drive and the past recovered COVIDs themselves. So there are three parts to this, why we are still seeing. And plus, point number 4 is extremely important is, I think the overall medical facilities is more geared up than last year. We have become a little smarter to understand which medicines work and which should not be used. And with regards your topic of the lockdown versus the terminology versus curfew or severe restrictions, I'm a very firm believer that the lockdown always works as an extreme public health measure in the initial phase of the pandemic, which we've already embarked on last year. It is primarily to get the public sensitized, to get the government protocols ready, and to get the medical infrastructure ready. That's already been pretty much accomplished. What we really now need to focus is on rampant testing. The testing should be done like never before on a war footing. Point number 2 is, like I mentioned, very good and aggressive supply chain management. No patient should suffer for want of drugs, oxygen, or a hospital bed. And third, most importantly, is home triage. That is slightly different than home management or home care. So that a quick emergency visit at home, patient is counseled, he's told whether he's a hospitalized category or non-hospitalized category. We need to demarcate this very smartly, very quickly, very aggressively. What we are actually seeing is a lot of patients trying to flood to the doctors and to the hospitals who have very mild symptoms because there is fear, there is panic. And through your program right now, I want everyone to hear, please do not panic. COVID, if it is managed appropriately, if it is managed at home, even though very well, asymptomatic carriers, pre-symptomatic or very mild symptoms can have almost a near 100% survival without any complication. Do not get stressed, do not get worried. Inform your local doctor, but don't go running from hospital to hospital.
So panic is not the time here, but to keep the situation very much in control there. Dr. Bagai, I have to slip into a short break. Dr. Thomas also continues to be with us. Niranjan also with us from the Mumbai newsroom. And we will try to understand as far as the RT-PCR tests are concerned, because there are other several cases of false negatives that are being reported, but still people are said to be COVID positive symptoms that they continue to show. We'll discuss about that after a very short break.